is one of the many reasons you decided to do track?
Um, I'd probably say just in the beginning, it was definitely the reason I did it was to help me with football. But as I'm getting older and realizing the benefits it brings, I'd say it helps me all around as an athlete. So at this point, I'd do it just to be a better athlete.
So I can agree. So was there any particular athlete or track star you looked up to?
Um, I'd say the biggest two track star wise would be obviously Usain Bolt, like where he came from, what he was able to achieve. And from an athlete standpoint, it's not even a football player, surprisingly, but it's Muhammad Ali, just because the he wasn't afraid to speak up in a time where he could be silenced. So that gives me a lot of motivation hearing him.
Definitely. So let's hear. Who were the people who had a big influence in your life?
Hmm. I would definitely say my dad, the
Yep.
experiences that he has had, as a young man playing football at the highest level, he definitely gave me the most advice when it comes to dealing with certain situations. So I'd say he's probably the biggest influence I've had in my life.
Yeah. So let's hear. What age did you decide to do track at?
Well, I've always ran, as a little kid and everything like that. But when I started actually competing against other kids, I think it was around either sixth or seventh grade. It was quite a while ago, but I'd definitely say it was during that middle school time frame in my life.
Yeah. So what future goals do you have, and what is one way you plan to achieve that?
Well, the goal that I have at the moment is just to, you know, try to compete at a Division I school for either football or track. And how I plan on getting there is just doing the usual, working out, making sure my grades are where they need to be, and just believing that it'll happen and it'll surely come true.
Definitely can agree on that one. So what sacrifices have you made to do track, and why do you think it's important for people to have these experiences?
That's a good question because for me, I've set really high standards for myself. There's been times where I've missed out hanging out with my friends or spending time with family just in pursuit of accomplishing my goals. It's important to sacrifice time, but at the same time, I'd say it depends on what standards you set for yourself. If you want to be a state champion, you have to sacrifice a lot of time. If you want to be a varsity athlete, I mean, you still need to sacrifice time, but maybe not as much as say if you want to be a state champion. And I guess if you just want to just run track, just I guess you just go out and do it. But you know, depending on what standards you set for yourself going into that season determines how much time you need to sacrifice. So,
Definitely. So what is one of your proudest accomplishments in track?
there's two, but I'd
All
say
right.
definitely the time where I ran sub 11, just because nobody on the track team were able to do that at the time and to go out and show what I'm capable of doing. That's definitely one of my proudest accomplishments.
Definitely can agree on that one. So what is one of your funniest moments as a football player? Oh no, it's here. Skip the line. So which sport did you enjoy more, football or track?
Ooh, uh, I like them both equally, man. There's not one that stands out from the other. I like them both. So,
Yeah. Let's hear. What do you typically do during the off season?
well, during the season, I'm just zoned in, focused on what I need to do on the football field or on the track. So I'd say during the off season, that's where I make up the time of hanging out with friends, family, doing all the stuff that I missed out on doing while in season. So.
Yeah, definitely very cool. What do you like to do in your free time? Which kind of correlates into the same thing, but
Well, yeah, I was gonna say I'd probably say what I said before, just spending time with friends, family. I like going to the gym. I like to meditate every now and then. So yeah. pretty much the
Very
same
cool.
thing. So,
Yeah. So, what piece of advice would you look for people looking to become a wide receiver?
hmm, it kind of correlates back to the one question you asked about track. I'd say it depends on what standards you set for yourself. If you want to be one of the best receivers in the state, you have to work at it. Like so many kids will just sign up for football and say, I want to be a receiver without putting in any work. And, if you truly aspire to become a good wide receiver, you have to start working now. You have to start working on your hands. You have to do the ladder drill, increase your footwork, become faster, understand defenses. So it's a long process. So
Yeah, hey, definitely can agree on that one. So, what was one of your most enjoyable games you played as a football player?
I'd have to say it was during this. Well, now it would be last season. I'd definitely say the game against Central, just the audience that showed up. It was a one of those unforgettable nights. So.
Hey, yeah, Jefferson. And even if we go back to the Jefferson one, they were kind of stompy. They were very kind of rude.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah. Let's hear. So, what is one game you could replay and why?
Ooh, it would have to be the game against Roosevelt because we ended up getting, I'm not going to sugar. We ended up getting destroyed that game, and the reason why we got beat the way that we did is because we came into that game cocky. We beat Washington. Washington beat Roosevelt, so we should have beat them. But if I could go back and be a leader, to tell the cocky members of my team that hey, you got to take these guys seriously because no matter who you're playing, if you give a bad team life, if you give any bad competitor life, they'll find a way to come back and beat you.
Yeah, and surprisingly, everybody else has said that Roosevelt was definitely the one of the games they could replay. So, I like
Oh
your
yeah.
response on that one. So, let's hear. What is one of your, okay, so how do you want to be remembered if you got the opportunity?
Hmm. Um, I haven't really thought a whole lot about that, but I guess for those who I guess want to know, I'd say I'd want to be remembered as the hard worker that did his best to treat everyone fairly.
Definitely. So, and here's kind of the one that we have to backtrack on. What is one of your proudest accomplishments in football?
Um, I would definitely say our last game of the season against O'Gorman. That
That
was
one was pretty
definitely
cool.
probably my best game I've had all season. That's the one game where I really figured everything out. I've had good games where I had a lot of touchdowns, but that game specifically, was the eye opener for me.
Yeah.
So,
And one of the coolest things about that whole game was is that they actually called my name on a false tackle. So it's like, oh my goodness, but that's kind of funny.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
So, how did you gain your self-confidence?
Um, I think where confidence comes from is the work that you put in. Like, you know, throughout football season, I would go out and run at night where I knew my competition would probably be sleeping. So having that edge on, I'm doing something that not a lot of people are doing right now, gives you kind of that psychological edge. So I'd say pretty much what I'm trying to say is preparation equals confidence.
Definitely. So, let's see here. What is one of the lessons you learned from playing football?
Um, I'll just keep it simple, but just to never give up, really. That's the
Yeah.
biggest lesson I've taken away from it.
Okay. So, let's see here. Did you play any other sports when you were younger?
Oh yeah, I did it all as a kid. I played football, basketball, baseball, soccer. The only two I've stuck to now is just football and track, but I've done a lot of sports as a kid.
Very nice. So, let's see here. What is one of the weirdest moments you experienced in football and why?
Man, I don't, you know what? I don't really know. I'd probably say I think there was a time where somebody found like a snake laying on the field and picked it up and started chasing people with it. I
Oh
mean,
my goodness.
there's not really a
Yeah.
whole lot that has been like genuinely weird, but I guess
Yeah.
that's the answer to that
One of
question.
them. All right. That's fair enough. What is your exercise routine like?
Um, it's definitely changed. It depends on the season that I'm in. Like my football exercise routine isn't the same as my track one, but at the moment, um, I wake up in the morning, do go to the YMCA, then I have a weights period during my normal school schedule, and then after school, I go to Scott Benson's just to get the explosive work done. So, yep.
Yeah, very cool. So, what conference game did you feel we could do better on?
Um, what
Like,
game we could have done better on?
yeah, and we already kind of went over this, but if there's like a different one game you want to possibly implement, be nice.
Well, I definitely just say that Roosevelt game. That loss stung. So
It
I
really
would
did. Yeah.
that one. So
How did you feel about your last season of football?
I'm pretty proud of it just because leading up, my sophomore, my junior year, I hadn't really been putting up a lot of numbers. Going into the senior season, I was actually pretty worried that if I would get any looks for football at all. And, to be able to say that I've been nominated as outstanding receiver, I've made the ESD AAA all conference team, I made it all state as an athlete. That's something that I'm definitely proud to look back on. So I definitely say that, just the things that I've been able to accomplish.
So, third section of in college. So, do you plan on signing for in colleges?
At the moment, it's definitely crossed my mind, but I'm just gonna wait, see what
Yeah.
other opportunities open up. I mean, I still have an entire track season. I've done a lot of
Yeah.
great things in football. Hopefully, I could bring that over to track, and so I'll probably just take my time, see what opportunities open up.